As an artist, I work with a lexicon of found information, and I work recombinatively and put these pieces of information in various concatenations with each other to create different kinds of meanings. So what we have here is something like a combination of kind of a paper doll set and a kind of semiotic genome project. We have one environment, this room, and then we've created this whole retinue of figures, objects, and animals. And then in each iteration, i.e. in each monoprint, it's inhabited by a different combination of things. Here there's a bear. He happens to be printed in a certain light, kind of coppery color. He happens to be holding a pinwheel and standing on two open green cubes. In another case, there's a man wearing a bear mask over his head. In another case, the bear is turned into a costume. The costume is inhabited by a female figure, which is actually me, and she's holding the bear's head. So the same images, the same printing plates that make up these images can be reconstituted contextually to mean completely different sorts of things. Every one of these rooms is printed in some shade of gray to black. They're all a little bit different, and has hand painting underneath and then hand painting again on top. So at a glance, they're similar, but if you look at them closely, they're not the same at all. And then all the figures are extensively hand painted. So, you know, this is a very playful thing in my mind. I've taken this man who's extremely famous for having his right arm never visible, i.e. Napoleon. And I've turned his right arm I've turned him into a puppeteer. So it's like a kind of play on the arm that only means what it means because it's Napoleon. If you did it with another figure, it wouldn't have the same frisson at all.
So we should take him off before it goes back, because we're going to put it.
I'm very interested in what I call to myself the elasticity of meaning. That a given image is not really freighted with something which is, quote, its meaning. Its meaning is highly contextual, highly based in time as well as space, as well as culture. I can take something out of a 50s novelty catalog where it meant one thing and use it, and part of the kind of fun of using it is to kind of force it or push it to mean something else, and then to take it in another context or in another print and have it be something else again. It's not the thinker, it's a toy of the thinker. It's not a sandwich or a piece of cheese, it's a pedestal for a woman who's a puppeteer who's holding this little man. I'm playing on bear associations. So you have a couple of iterations of a teddy bear, you have a mobile teddy bear on all fours, and you have Teddy Roosevelt. So I'm kind of like riffing on bareness. Over here we have the bear largely absent, but in the same way that I've shown you the heads of Frida and Andy over there, I've reduced the bear to just a head on a stand and shown him over here, so he has sort of parity with Andy Warhol and myself, for that matter. This is an image from a 50s novelty catalog of a wooden puzzle. And then it's printed in a carved medium, i.e. lino cut. So there's a kind of a marriage there between the wood that's carved for the puzzle and the image of the wooden puzzle that's also carved, and then it's printed on wood grain paper. These are, I forget the source of these, but it's a book I have on the history of wood carving. They're called whimsies. They're things that sailors carved when they are out at sea to pass the time. It's like carving for carving's sake. And they usually have something intricate inside of something else, which is obviously quite a trick in carving. So these are carved linoleum blocks of the image of carved wood. This is a mask, which is probably in reality wood, and here it's printed on this cork paper, so it has the feeling of a kind of natural material. When we printed these things, we printed them on very different colors of paper. But then I ended up hand coloring them even more. So I think what's happened is, as we've worked on it, we've just gone deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole of customizing isn't the word, but making unique each print.
A tiny, tiny bit of this. We have this sort of low toxicity mineral spirit.
I think one of the beauties of collage is you take things that come from radically different places, spaces, and times, and you bring them together into a kind of space-time continuum right here, right now. Right here, right now, this clown meets this puppet for the first time in the life of either of them. Right here, right now, this roseate spoonbill and this African sculpture come together for the first time. And somehow the nature of this room is very whole and very cogent and it's kind of like a clear set of brackets, conceptually speaking, that hold these things together now.